This is the wildest tale that I think I've seen in a couple of years. So I want to kick things off with just that. For both of you, when you read this script, what was it about this story, these characters, that popped off, right? Compelled you to be like, I have to be a part of this story. I have to unpack this character. What was it about this story that you all that made you want to sign on to this project?
We are live on the scene tonight of yet another officer-involved shooting. That man has been identified as LAPD officer Brian Stanley.
Our neighbor?
Our neighbor. And now we wait for him to be exonerated.
So what does Wynn do, Vanessa?
We gotta take a stand. You're going to come over to our house. I'm going to talk, and you're going to listen.
The wild ride. That's what it is for me. Honestly, it was just the potential to sort of like wrench everything in me and bring it to life. Like that just seemed cool. I mean, the character gets to ride a Peloton. It's like an action thriller. It's funny. It's got comedy. It's satire at the same time. But then it's also housed in actual, like in real moments, it's in in conversation that we were able to have is really cool. So yeah, and then being able to work with our director, with Mo, like that for me was a big deal because he's somebody I really respect.
For me, it was, the first time I experienced it was obviously the script, and it was just incredibly powerful. I didn't know where it was headed. The characters were so complex.
This is by far the dumbest thing you could possibly be doing.
Brother!
Randy.
Oh, come on in.
We understand that you're a successful black man and all,
You're one of the good ones, brother.
but you're just living under the white man's thumb.
Not always.
You're one of the good ones, brother.
This film is so nuanced. There's no one's all the way good or all the way bad, which I think is so true to life. It's sometimes funny, it's absurd, it's deeply sad. And I think that's life, isn't it? Life is a tragicomedy. The two go hand in hand. And I've been acting 20 years. I'd never had the opportunity to play a character like this. So that was just like an immediate yes on the script. And then to find out Mo McRae's vision and the way he wanted to shoot it. Absolutely.
So I'm wondering, Cleo, was there any part, because your character, I don't know, I'm so drawn in, almost immediately your character pulls the viewer in. And you just, like you said, you don't, going into it, you have no idea what's going to happen, right? Was there any part of this character or let me ask you this, how much of your own personality did you embed or bring to this character?
Not much of my own personality, but as a biracial woman, of course, I share some of the pains that Vanessa goes through. I am a lot more self-reflecting. I am not estranged from either of my parents. I'm a different person, but there are certain themes that I do understand. I grew up in Australia. I grew up completely isolated from my community. I completely relate to that. But I'm an artist. I have an outlet. She does not. So it was easy to just sort of understand, like, I have this, she has that, we have this in common, we have that not in common. But yeah, like Alan is always saying, it's through a lens of compassion that I was able to reach Vanessa.
Yeah, and speaking of your fabulous co-star, Mr. Noel, what I really found striking about your character was his decisions, right? It's almost like there were moments where he just took the back seat to let his lady lead. And I feel, and maybe lead in ways that were very detrimental to both of them, right? And you don't see that a lot with a lot of strong male characters, especially black male characters. Was that a draw for you?
You get up on the power, you get up on the superiority, but I see you.
You really are beautiful, you know that.
What are we gonna do?
A lot of times I've played characters who are the exact opposite, who are just like, hyper masculine and need to be, the sort of the savior in a way. But I appreciate this. I like to think that that's who I really am, but there's a part of me that's a lot like James, where it's like, I don't know what to do in a lot of different situations. So to be able to speak through him or have him speak through me, I don't know. It's like this weird who's speaking through who type of situation with me and James. That nuance definitely made me want to tap into what was going on.